Moving on with the agenda, number 6 is our 2013-14 tax rates. We need a motion before we can even discuss it.
Do we have to put a figure in that when we make that motion?
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion that we use the compensating rate.
That is the 2%. Is that correct?
No,
That's not.
compensating.
That's
Okay, can you make a formal motion? Burner,
Please,
can you make a formal motion?
I make a motion that the board approve the compensating rate for the taxes on real estate for the 2013-14 school year.
Okay, and for the benefit of the public, what amount is that? What percent?
Well, the compensating rate, you really don't have a
52.7 cents.
52.7 cents. Second. And motion dies for lack of a second. Do I hear any more? I move that the board approve the following tax rates for the 2013-2014 school year. Motor vehicle being 52.6, same as last year. Real estate at 2%, personal property at 2%, utility at 3%.
I will second the motion.
Now, questions or comments?
I have a comment. I think that I'm willing to compromise there. And as I said before, since we're going to discuss this so that the public knows, there's a couple items that I just want to talk about, and that is all-day kindergarten. That's not paid for in whole. It's only half a day. And we as the district pick it up. And also, we were one of the first district to vote to raise the dropout rate from 16 to 18. And we don't know what the cost of that's going to be totally yet, but there will be some cost, I'm sure, because keeping a lot of kids in school that just don't want to be there, there will be some cost to that to do individualized educational plan for those kids. So I can live with the 2% because I think there's some things coming this year and we just don't know what the cost is really going to be for all of that.
And I have a comment that, I mean, this is difficult. I'd like to go with 4% from a board member point of view. I just can't do that because I think it's just too much this year. But I know we're going to be faced with the same thing next year and the following year. And it's really made it difficult on board members to have to do this every year. It's really not something that I like to do but this is what, how much does it raise taxes on $100,000 property item?
The 2%.
The 2%.
$10.
$10 on 100,000 and 15 on what?
150,000. $20 on 200,000 and $25 on 250,000. That's a 2%.
And that's half of what we could take this year. And I mean, I don't see that we have, we're going to have to do some kind of compromise. I think that I just don't see how we can take 4% this year. But But I know we're gonna be facing the same thing next year.
Well,
And
and
Face it
Mr.
every year. We
And
face it
Mr.
every
Chairman,
year.
if I can speak on that just a
Sure.
little bit. And as I was saying in the meeting earlier, before this board meeting, I think, property owners out there, and I've had several calls, and I totally agree with them, that we should look at maybe raising the sales tax, which would generate more money for the state, and it's a more fair tax, because then you're not hitting one group every time. And but we need the public's help to talk to legislators to get that done.
Before I make a comment, which I'd like to do, this gentleman here came to, I'm sure, voice an opinion about this, and if you would like to.
Well, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not a property owner, but I was expecting some more people to be here. I question why a tax increase this year is needed at all. I'm getting most of my information from the Lebanon Enterprise, and according to the finance director, she said, we're not hurting this year or next year.
Well, I can speak to that for just a second, and then I can let Lisa, our financial director, answer that question. From what she's explained to us is we have spent, or we've lost $1 million in revenue since 2008. 2008 to this year, we've lost $1 million in revenue because of some stimulus money that was given to us by the federal government. We have accumulated a certain amount of money to where we're not actually hurting this year, and we're not, and we probably won't be hurting next year either. But we can't run the school system just on what this year and next year. We have to look 5 and 10 years ahead, trying to figure out exactly what it's going to cost us and what kind of revenue we're going to have.
If I may interject, are you looking at this as a cumulative effect of tax increases?
Well, we have to do this every year. Every single year, we have to decide.
The issue comes up every year.
Yeah, it comes up every single year. And in prior years, we raised it 4% without any question. Since the economy has kind of gone bust, we have dropped it down to 2% on occasions because of that. Whether or not it's affecting us in the long haul is yet to be seen. What we don't pass each year, we lose it forever. So we're taxpayers also. Every one of us are taxpayers, and we don't want to tax. We don't want to pay any more taxes than we have to. However, we're trying to keep the school system always ahead, and so far we've been able to do that. Lisa, is there anything you'd like to say as far as that's concerned?
I do
Elaine?
know before, you noticed a moment ago, we do have that $575,000 insurance trust. That's going to hit us for $500,000 this year. There's also a cut and seek that's what, $300,000. So we're going to spend $1 million of that carryover. It's gone.
I'm sorry, am I reading this right? That there is $6,458,000 in the general fund?
That's correct.
That's exactly right.
But you can just bring that really to $5 million, because $5 million of it is gone. I mean, $1 million of it's gone. I'm sorry.
And $2 million of that is required by the state to be kept in contingency, and that is the bare minimum. They really want you to operate for more than 3-month operating, and our payroll alone is about $1.5 million each month. So to keep that contingency up, because at the beginning of the year, we don't receive property taxes, so whatever's in our account has to float us until property tax revenue starts coming in.
Okay.
Before the state government cut our SEEK money, we weren't in any trouble at all. We were patting ourselves on the back because we were one of the districts who kept up. One of the few districts who always kept up. We were never behind. And we would like to continue to do that. But the state government keeps cutting our funding every single year. So we're trying to figure out a way to keep our contingency the way it was and still keep all the programs that we have. We'd like to keep all the teachers that we have. So it's not easy for us to do this, you know, especially when we look at the state government and they're cutting us all the time, but they're expecting us to ask, you know, our local taxpayers to bear the blunt of that, so to speak. So it's a difficult decision to make every single year.
Something that has been brought to my attention, I've heard people talk about since this came up, is the new positions that have been created at the Marion County Board of Education, in particular the Director of Food Service, and with a salary of $91,000 a year. That is unsettling to a lot of people in the public, and also the Director of Federal Programs with a salary of $82,000 a year. And these are new positions.
Well, the food service position is not a new position. We've always had a director of food service. In the past few years, though, it's been.
But we've had people doing these jobs before.
And about 10 others with them, and that was part of the problem. We had them overextended. We had too few people doing too many jobs. That was the problem.
But what you didn't hear is the positions that were cut here in the last 5 years also. See, positions,
sure I have those things.
Yeah, positions were cut, and what we did is just put those people back, bring those positions back is what we did.
But I think our superintendent should comment on those positions too, and her feeling about, some of them are just a name change, really. I mean, 5 years ago, we probably don't have any more people here in central office than we had 5 years ago.
Actually, we were still less than we had 5 years ago, and we cut one position 3 years ago, and we didn't replace that position. And so those duties were added to a couple people in the central office. Some other positions were cut district-wide, and as Mr. Mullins said, we're asked to do more and more with less and less money and less people.
I understand that. So I guess my question is, do these positions warrant the salaries they're being paid?
I can assure you that the staff in the central office are putting in several hours, and it's not just a 9 to 5 kind of job. They're working 6 and 7 days a week, and they're basically on call 24/7. That's something people don't see. They only see what they see during the day, but very demanding job, a lot of responsibility. You know, I believe, and I, you know, this is what I do, but I believe that education is the foundation of any society.
Sure.
And I believe, you know, and I believe that the people here, you know, and I've worked in the district. This is my 9th year. I've worked as high school principal, and I've worked in central office, so I know the roles and responsibilities of the people and the teachers. And I feel like the teachers in the building need the support of the people in the central office to help them with the jobs that they're expected to do. And I'm very aware that it is important for myself and the board members to be aware of making sure that we are good stewards of taxpayers' money. And I'd like to, one more thing, like to just say, if you looked at some of the other districts around us and the people that are making progress, even better progress than we are, they've probably got even more people working in the central office. They have curriculum coaches throughout the district, and that's something that we don't have. And, you know, ultimately the kids are the ones who either benefit or suffer if we don't have the right people in place. And I feel like we do have the right people in place, and I can assure you that I will monitor the jobs that they do to make sure that the kids get what's best for them.
And I think one thing that you told board members, the instructional leadership that most all of these people that you are hiring, that's what you told us. I mean, that's another
It's
reason.
about supporting instruction in the classroom.
Yeah. And that's probably why some of the salaries is more than what you would maybe expect. But
Well, these people have been in the system a long time. They're not new hires off the street. I mean, they're people with experience and knowledge. They're aware of the federal laws, state laws you got to follow. So you got to put people in positions that have been there a long time and they require that level of salary to make. So, Mr. Chairman, you have somebody in the rear room up to speak. Very good.
Yes, Judy?
I just wanted to say, I've been also reading about the tax rate information in the paper. I am not a parent, I'm a grandparent and a great-grandparent of students in this district. And I don't think 2% is enough. Because every time I go to Louisville, and you go through Washington County, and you go through Nelson County, they've got new high schools. They've got all kinds of new facilities. We'll never have any new facilities if we don't have enough money. They're paying extra tax on top of this property tax to have their new facilities. I am willing to pay that for my grandkids and my great-grandkids to have the kind of education they need. And a 40-year-old high school over here doesn't have what they need, like the other districts. So we're going to sit by and let those districts pass us up because they have nicer facilities.
Our buildings are not teaching kids, and.
No,
yeah,
sir, but
and
they
they're
don't
not.
have the right kind of science labs or a lot of other different things that they need. We're adding on to old schools where they're getting all brand new schools, and I'm sorry, but the facilities make a great big difference.
Well, we just have to disagree on that.
Well, we may have to disagree. I pay property tax in this school district.
Okay, thank everybody for their comments. Are there any more comments or questions? The motion's made for 2% tax increase. It's been seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Passes. Thank you. Next on the agenda is overnight field trips.
I move that the board approve the following overnight student field trips to Marion County High School girls soccer tournament, Burnham County High School, August 31st through September the 1st, 2013.
second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Number 8 is procedure 8.133 AP.2, and we reviewed that procedure. Does anybody have any questions or comments concerning that? Okay, thank you. Number 9 is our consent items.
I move that the board approve the following consent items. Minutes of the August 13, 2013 meeting. The following use of district property application agreement. The following school-wide fundraisers. The 2013-14 student-teacher agreement with Council University. Appointment of the following classified staff for an additional hour per day. Appointment of the following classified staff for an additional 2 hours. Contract for NLR Davenport as psychometrist / 2A certified up to 120 days. WT for the 2013-14 year. Contract for Kathy Loper as psychometrist / 2A certified up to 120 days, $180 per day. For the 2013-14 year, contract for Mitzi Reynolds as psychometrist / 2A certified up to 30 hours, $175 per day. For the 2013 school year, contract for Francis Danny Livers as special education support staff up to 100 days, DWT for the 2013 school year. Additional half hour per day for 35 days for the following classified staff, IDEA funds, Virginia Harrigan, Leisha Porter, and transfer for additional hour per day from Kelly Stanfield to Louise D. IDEA funds.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Number 10 and 11 are notification to the board of the following actions regarding certified personnel and classified personnel. Does anybody have any questions or comments concerning those?
Yeah, I just have one. Mrs. Slosser, did you see where like the academy up here that the state no longer wants you to have? If it's an academy that they no longer want alternative school attached to that. Did you see something on that? Or have you heard any talk on that?
I have not, but I will investigate.
I really
We
don't.
have to provide alternative education for students who may, it may be a safety issue. So I know we have to do that, so we may have to look at doing something different. I'll find out. And I'll update the board at the next meeting. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Thank you.
I move with yours.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Good meeting.